I am not like the other girls. And almost a decade ago, I find myself an aspiring public speaker, desperately wanting to fit in, to be accepted, to be successful. So there's nothing more exciting than taking my seat in the audience at a prestigious conference to hear one of my biggest role models give a talk. Not only is her work exceptional, she herself, well, she's perfect. Perfectly coiffured hair, perfectly toned physique, perfect stilettos. She embodies everything I think I aspire to be, an absolute powerhouse. Ms. Perfect begins her talk, and I'm hanging on her every word. Today, we are going to discuss the topic of professional image. So, let me start off by saying, if you don't know about, can't afford, or can't fit into brands like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, or Prada, you don't belong here. Sitting in the audience in a plus-sized Old Navy clearance dress, all of the excitement drains from my body. Barely holding back the tears, I quietly escape her session and retreat to my room, making matters worse as I rush, defeated, head down through lobbies and public halls. I can't hide the mortifying limp I've lived with for years. I mean, if my hero doesn't think I deserve to be here, how will I ever be accepted as a public speaker, let alone valued as one? The minute that hotel room door slams, the realization hits. I'm a freak. And I don't use that term freak flippantly. It's a loaded word that drips with negativity, if not danger. But in a society striving for growth, I say the customary definitions of the word freak aren't applicable or acceptable any longer, especially in the workplace. Inclusivity campaigns like diversity, body positivity, differently abled, and pride movements prove that we can be accepted because of our singularities, not in spite of it. And if we can be accepted because of our individuality, then in an ever-increasingly competitive world, I say, we can stand out because of it too. So, Merriam-Webster, take note. Today, I'm calling for a new definition of the word freak. Noun, the feature, attribute, or talent of a person that qualifies them as unique or special. See also fabulosity. From college applications to corporate ladders, to arouse your professional edge, you must indulge your freak. However, as early as preschool, the world ingrains in us the value of fitting in. A 2021 Duke University research study by authors Lee, Britvan, and Tomasello showed that by our third birthday, children are motivated to act conventionally, ultimately finding that they are inclined to conform for the sake of following the crowd. We reject individuality because society's template seems more prudent. It is safer to follow the crowd than to stand out in one. And as we grow, media and social cues continue to emphasize that guidance. Following the norm leads to acceptance and success. The cool kids all wear the same clothes, listen to the same music, play the same sports. But when we enter the professional world, that template prevents our intrinsic capacity to thrive because it bullies us into hiding our freak. And bullied is exactly how I felt at Ms. Perfect's conference. On the other side of that hotel room door, I am bawling like a child on the playground. Praying loud music will drown out my sobs from any passersby. I crank up the music on my travel speakers, this new singer, Lizzo. And I'm immediately obsessed with her confidence and individuality. Born Melissa Jefferson, as a child, Lizzo dreams of becoming a classical orchestral flute player. But as she grows, all of her natural talent is smothered by a relentless desire to fit in. And that flute she loves so much now seems the mark of someone different, the mark of a freak. However, on the threshold of adulthood, Melissa experiences a revelation. No longer content to blend into an orchestra, she leverages her freak by putting it all on display. She forges her success as a business-minded, rapping, singing, composing, voluptuous, flute-playing queen. And looking at myself in the mirror, a full hot mess, mascara running down my cheeks, I tell myself, you could never own your freak like Lizzo. And that kind of negative self-talk is exactly how we gaslight ourselves into believing that our freak is bad, that we must hide it from the world to succeed. But history tells a very different story. Some of the most remarkable icons of achievement have dared to indulge their freak. Marie Curie defied social mores surrounding women's education by secretly pursuing her talent for science, later earning 2 Nobel Prizes. Major League Baseball pitcher Jim Abbott, born without a right hand, but he rebuffed the sports world's ableist biases and went on to pitch a no-hitter for the New York Yankees. Hell, even Walt Disney was once fired due to, get this, a lack of imagination and no good ideas, simply because his ideas didn't conform with those of his editors. And we all know that imagination birthed one magical money-making mouse. So I want to know, how's your freaky flute solo coming along? Because when we indulge our unique freak, we stand out. More importantly, we gain a competitive advantage. We're suddenly considered for opportunities we could have never dreamed of, and we find ourselves being chosen. Evidence of this can be seen in the workplace as the former HR model of culture fit is being abandoned in favor of culture add. 2022 Gallup Workplace defined culture add as one that promotes hiring decisions that focus on candidates' unique and beneficial attributes, values, beliefs, and behaviors. The professional world is waking up. An ability to conform doesn't make someone more accepted, it makes them boring. And who wants to accept boring? Lizzo didn't. I don't. Do you? But just how do we arouse our professional edge? How do we indulge our freak? First, we submit to exposing what lies under the surface. While physical differences are tremendously important in terms of visibility and representation, things like hairstyle or body art, they are the low-hanging fruit on the freak tree. They are merely a teaser for how we analyze and process. Do you use intricate spreadsheets to organize your day-to-day life? Constantly take things apart and put them back together just to see how they work? Name the musical note every time you hear a car horn honk. By exposing how you think freaky, you will astound and seduce the world. Next, we savor the compliments. Now, I am the first person to get all kinds of weird when receiving praise. But when we rebuff our accolades, we deny the very things that others see, admire, and desire in us. Are your friends constantly praising your seemingly effortless penchant for design? Astounded by your tech wizardry? Constantly begging you to proofread their document? The freaks that give us our unique edge are usually hiding in plain sight, right there in the compliments. So the next time somebody says to you, honey, I have no idea how you do that so well, lap it up shamelessly. And lastly, we satiate our freak throughout our careers, even if we are already a success, because that inward calling is a signal to your next big professional leap. Are you the mergers and acquisitions lawyer who's always dreamed of designing the perfect power suit? The domestic engineer who has conceived of the next big app? The line cook whose drag performances flambe the stage? Go heads down. Reinvent yourself, your services, your product. You may succeed, delight, or flail, but as you take those risks, you will give those around you the runway to live their freak, to copy you in not being a copy. So think back to the last time you desperately wanted to fit in, to be accepted, to be successful by conforming. I bet it left you feeling indistinct, unaccomplished, maybe unfulfilled. But what if you fought that urge? What if you took everything society has ever said to make you feel like a freak and you made them eat it? I give you all the permission to live that reality because of a plus-size, limping self-saboteur, in other words, a freak, can stand before you in this red circle today, then you can stand out in a crowd too. So do it. Arouse your professional edge. Indulge your fabulosity. The world is waiting. I dare you, you big old freak.